Hi, I'm Valentino. Previously, I was in drug development for 7 years at three different companies, and then also was in a patient advocacy group. So the perspective that I come with is from both drug development as well as the advocacy perspective. I think that it's really important to establish clear collaboration between uh, patient advocacy groups and the drug developer. Setting the expectations around what the collaboration could be and should be requires engagement of both parties, and that has to really start very early in the process. I think another aspect that is critically important is when you're interacting, whichever perspective you're taking, drug development or patient advocacy, it's learning about the other organization so that you can understand the types of materials, the types of resources that they have to offer. And when there's an opportunity that each party is co-creating materials together, I think that's so essential, is to have that co-creation opportunity that really builds the patient voice right into the drug development process, program, and plan. When it comes to clinical trials, having that patient voice represented in the informed consent, in the protocol, in various materials, I think is critical because it offers prospective patients who want to become participants in that clinical trial an opportunity to really feel like they're being valued. And when you're thinking about value, that's compensation. So fair compensation is a critical aspect. And I think only the patient advocacy groups and the patient voice can inform, how much is this really going to cost in terms of time, effort, commitment on the part of a participant to participate in a clinical trial. We want to make sure that that's reimbursed at a fair and equitable rate. Of course, we want to do that within appropriate standards and for the industry, so that there's not coercion to participate in a clinical trial. But I think it's important that communication between the two groups continues. I think it also helps with inclusion. It's helping get people from various backgrounds, the intended use population, to really participate in a clinical trial. And that's something that I've really been working on with other organizations, is how do you get an inclusive pool of participants? And I think it's really important that the trial design is patient-centric and that we're able to collaborate, work together, communicate, and really design clinical trials, materials, the entire sort of wraparound for a clinical trial, doing it together. And that requires, continuous engagement on the part of both parties. So, that's where I think PALADIN comes in. PALADIN is a great resource. There's a lot of other resources that are available to the participants of PALADIN. I encourage you to go to the website, peruse around, and see what you might find of value there.